Lions TV, this is your post-match analysis video for yesterday's exceptional, I'm going to call it, 3-1 win over Preston North End at the Den. I don't know about you lot, but once again I'm going to say I am absolutely sick to fucking death of this Neil Harris hoofball. As always, let's kick off the show by taking a look at the 11 that the gaffer picked to start the match. And so Neil Harris unsurprisingly went with an unchanged side. For those that are still not on board with Neil Harris, I urge you to reconsider because not only are we now getting results for yesterday, the Luton game, the QPR game, Sheffield Wednesday, I think it's our last 4 games, we've absolutely dominated all 4 sides and someone was going to get a spanking at some point, that's what she said. And yesterday, Preston were on the receiving end of that. I felt the scoreline flattered them and I thought it was even more, in fact, potentially than the Sheffield Wednesday game. It was a very weird situation to be in yesterday. Game done and dusted. I know this is Millwall and I know things that can change dramatically with us, but it was game over by about 50 minutes and I for one couldn't wait for the game to end because of the pounding sun that was coming down upon the Dockers stand. Thanks for the comments on my sunglasses, by the way. I'm just going to keep wearing silly shit like that. They're not actually not silly, I like them, but I put them on a full time because I couldn't take the sun anymore and I just knew the comments would come, but long may it continue. Not a bad thing at all. The only thing that people are moaning about are the states of my cheap shades. But look, I've praised Harris, I've backed Harris, although I won't get everything right and I won't always get everything wrong, but I said don't play George Hulliman in that 10 because I didn't think that we had enough going forward. It was his first goal in 2 years yesterday. Despite that, I knew it would happen. I did back him to score the first goal in my preview in a 2-0 win, and that was the scoreline after, well, half-time. It could have been more with Casper the North shot against the bar in a minute, which I'll get onto. I've also said at points that Duncan Watmore shot to bits, which he was. And again, football can show you that confidence is a massive, massive thing. And I said that Romain Esse wasn't up to this level. I'm now worried that Romain Esse is going to end up going somewhere else for £10 million because he has come on leaps and bounds. And it's like I say, you only see what goes on a match day. You don't see what goes on behind the scenes and on the training ground. So, as I said, I won't get everything right about Harris. And I will sometimes get things wrong. That's the life of a football fan. I'm not sitting here claiming to be a top-tier manager, claiming to have played professional football. I don't have any coaching badges, but I am a fan. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Sometimes I get frustrated. Sometimes I get things right. Sometimes I get them wrong. And I'm very pleased to say that I'm glad I'm getting it wrong. I wouldn't want to be getting it right about Romain Esse, what I said, and Duncan Watmore, and yesterday, George Hulliman. So it's all good as far as I'm concerned, and long may it continue. As I said, it was an unchanged side, and it was just a really, really strong performance. A lot of people said to me, Preston was shit. And people said to me, QPR was shit. Sheffield Wednesday is shit. Maybe that's just the level. You know, maybe we're at that level now where we're above sides like that, and we're looking towards maybe the bigger guns in the division, the Burnleys of this world, potentially the Norwiches of this world, to get to that next level. But if they are all shit, then that suits me again, and it'll suit Millwall Football Club down to the ground. They didn't look that interested, Preston, I must say that. And I didn't feel we started the game as well as we had started previous games up. I didn't feel the intensity and the fire was there from the off, and it can't always be, but recently against Sheffield Wednesday, against Luton, we have started the game on fire, and I don't feel that fire was there straight away. The crowd wasn't fantastic yesterday numbers-wise, and I think it said a lot for Preston, how their fans must be feeling about their current situation as a football club. They got a new manager in Paul Heckingbottom. They got rid of their old manager, Paul, what was it? No, it weren't Paul, he's a Derby manager. Whoever their manager was, Ryan Lowe, there you go. At the start of the season, after one game, they only had the lower tier and not many of them. And I think that's maybe a reflection of how they're feeling, as I said, towards their football club. And I did say last week that YouTube views are down, not just for me, but across the board for all Millwall channels. And that can happen. I said, I hope people do get that buzz back. I hope people do get that lift, because once one goes up, they all go up, and it's good for everyone. You know, the more the merrier in this situation. It's not, when I was a youngster, my dad was a roofer. I went to work with him. I got my best mate a job. And by the time we both qualified, my brother also worked there, he was older than me. So all 3 of us had our own firms, and we're all competing for one job. And it's horrible, but it's not like that on YouTube. You'll watch one, you'll go and watch another, you'll go and watch another opinion. So long may the views rise for everyone. Millwall based, Millwall Tube, by the way. Check out his channel, he's still grafting away. and he's got a very good channel. So you haven't already checked his one out. But look, I felt yesterday, as I said, that the intensity maybe wasn't there at first, but Preston didn't look that interested. I feel they was playing for a draw from early on, and eventually we got into the swing of things. Casper De Norre may well be in contention for that Ballon d'Or. He's going to make the shortlist at this rate, and if that one would have gone in, he definitely would have been in contention. An unbelievable strike as it drops out the air. Very, who's the geezer who scored for Wolves years ago? I've lost it now. Nunes? Weren't Nunes. I don't know. I can't remember. But he scored for Wolves. One drops out the air and he volleyed it. Bang. And he volleyed it back across top corner. And that was very similar. I had a long time to think about that. He drops out the air and he caught it sweet as a nut and hits the bar. And I'm saying to people on the live stream, it's going to be one of them days again. We just don't get that bit of luck, do we? But eventually, we kept plodding along and we get the goal. And it's a really, really good team goal. Yes, we are... Can you hear that? Fucking sounds like planes coming down. Anyway, let's carry on with the show. Yeah, the first goal is a very well worked team goal, and what we had the advantage of yesterday is we know that Coops gets a lot of attention now when he's in the opposition box for set plays for corners. And he doesn't win all those, he gets doubled up on, he gets manhandled. But yesterday he was winning them aerial battles, which was definitely helping our cause. It's a good free kick from Joe Bryan, who I thought was absolutely fucking outstanding. I mean, again, look, they all was. You couldn't pick a bad player out of there yesterday. His free kick comes in, Cooper wins the header, it drops Langstaff, as always, and I think he's going to be a big hero at Millwall. And again, I said stick by him. That's another one that I got right, because you've had people saying he's not up to the level, he's shit, send him back, he's League 1, League 2, non-league. And people saying that about Femi Aziz as well, by the way, who they've seen play once. So these players, as I said before, they need 10, 15 games for you to be able to see what they can really, really do. And Langstaff, he does do the work that Bradshaw does. But if you notice about him, he's always in and around where he needs to be in that box. And I've said down the years, I'd rather Lee Gregory at the time be a little bit more lazy and be a bit more central. My centre forward, I want him to score goals. I don't want him to go chasing lost causes. But if you look at Langstaff, he's always in and around the right place where he should be. And that's just an art in itself. And that's probably why he scored so many goals. But on this occasion, just like last week at QPR, he turns provider, cuts it back, and it's a carbon copy of the goal he didn't score last week at Queen's Park Rangers. George Honeyman slides in, scores his goal. I said he shouldn't have started. I said someone else should play in the 10. And he was an absolute, I'm going to say, it's going to be cringe, an absolute honey monster yesterday. And there's your title for the post-match analysis. At the same time, he not only scored one, he set up two. But look, in my defence and other people, it's been very split, and that's why I mentioned it in the preview on Honeyman. That's his first goal in 2 years. Now, as a 10, if he is a 10, and some people are saying to me, Dan, you're wrong, he wasn't a central midfielder. In an interview with a club, which I haven't seen, he says that he is and has always been a 10. So if you're a 10, you need to score a few goals. To not score in 2 years is not good enough. To not take the chance against Watford on the opening day, he should have scored. To miss the one at QPR, again, he should have got us all 3 points. But it just proves that on his plus traits that I always say about the type of bloke he is and how he comes across and what he does work rate-wise, he steps up to the fold. He's took it on board and he's reacted to the pressure and he's got the job done. Good finish. Offside-ish, I'm not sure. There was all three of our goals, a hint of, they was all tight yesterday, all onside, and Honeyman celebrates, and you can see in the post-match analysis, the Honey Monster, as I titled it, graphic, the grit, the determination, the fucking relief, the aggression on his face when he got the goal. And again, look, I love the bloke, and I always say, it may come across that I don't like Honeyman, and I do. After the game, he said in the interview with the club, do you know what, everyone's been being too nice. He said, I said to my missus, I just wish someone would give me a bollocking, but they're all saying, you know, keep going, you're doing the right things, you're getting in the right positions, you just need a goal. And he said, he's half getting on my nerves that people were being too nice. I wanted someone to give me a bollocking. So he obviously doesn't watch Lions TV because I happily did that for him in the preview and said he shouldn't be in the starting 11, but I'm glad he did. And yes, okay, I may look wrong in that situation, which I haven't got a problem with, but at the minute, and I'm not criticising him, it's one goal, he scored one, he set up two, so he's done his job. He wasn't previously, he's doing everything else but that. And now, hopefully, as I said in my preview as well, I feel this is where our season is going to kick in. We always put a little run together, a lot of new players through the door, and it is going to take time for those players to develop and gel and get an understanding. And it now looks like they are firing on all cylinders. So 1-0, and not long after, it's 2-0. The sun, I mean, listen, my mince pies are shot. We all know that. That's why I wear the goggles, and I still can't see greatly with the goggles on. In real time, the second goal, I've actually said Langstaff, because the sun was beaming in my face. It was right at the other end as well, and I couldn't see. Obviously, Romain Esse looks nothing like Macaulay Langstaff, and Macaulay Langstaff looks nothing like Romain Esse. I mean, I think that's pretty fucking obvious. But I just saw the run that was being made and a blue shirt, through my dodgy minces and blaring sunshine. So I just called Langstaff to score the goal. But it was obviously not. It was Romain Esse, his first goal at the Den, and my God, if we are not careful, we are, if he carries on the way he's going, we're going to lose him at some point for around £10 million. Because what a player he's turned into. He won about 8 or 9 free kicks yesterday through getting the ball in an area where he had nothing on, turning, taking on 2 or 3 and getting taken down. But he's also making fouls, which ain't great to concede free kicks. But for me, it's everything about his game now. The final ball was there at points, a little bit skew-whiff, a little bit sporadic, skew-whiff. But now he's really added every other part to his game, his defensive work. He really puts in a shift, and he was in contention for me again yesterday for the man of the match, along with Joe Bryan, along with Macaulay Langstaff, probably one of those 3, in my opinion. I mean, Honeyman scored 1 and assisted 2, and I've not even put him in contention. He was brilliant, as always, and added the extra part of his game that we needed him to, and he knew himself had been missing. And the second goal I'm really pleased with, because it's something that I comment on a lot, don't I? I don't fucking shut up, but I comment on this quite a lot. It's a ball, just a clearance, little one over the top. It ain't got to be pop, pep perfect. It's Honeyman. He just sees an opportunity for us to break, and he just dollies one over the top for what more. And I will always say at this point, I said it after the QPR game, we don't get the bodies forward, or our player gets caught up for pace, or we make the wrong decision, or we don't have that final bit of quality. And I thought that had happened again, because Watmore was running, but he's getting caught. Then eventually he'll cut back, and then Esse makes a run that I always bang on about. He runs through the middle, beyond defenders, getting defenders turning towards their own goal. Watmore executes it perfectly, and make no mistake, it's a very, very fucking good goal. It's a really good goal. Again, very tight for offside, but we get the decision. I think it was just on that one. And he takes it in his stride, goes around the keeper and puts it in one motion. Didn't have a lot to aim at all. Wasn't even looking at the goal when he actually finished it. So he had good awareness and he knew who he was. And it's a really, really well executed goal on the break. And everything about it was fucking brilliant. So we're 2-0 up. It's half time. I said at half time that, look, we need to make sure we come out in this second half and we just keep it steady, shut the gates, close the gates for 10 minutes, 15 minutes and see the game out. I didn't feel at any point Preston were going to come back into it. Lucas Jensen, I felt sorry for him yesterday for not getting his clean sheet. They had a little spell, Preston, where they came forward after we scored for about 10-15 minutes, and he makes a really good reaction save with his foot, and Neil Harris did mention that in the after-match interview with the club as well on their official Millwall TV. And I saw the clip on Twitter, but I am a subscriber of Millwall TV. It's definitely worth getting these days. They're cracking on with it a lot more, so fair play to the club for that. But look, the second half we come out, and I said in half time in the live stream, I've just said to you, let's keep it tight for 10-15 minutes, but we didn't do that. We come forward again. Joe Bryan turns them over. Duncan Watmore runs through. Honestly, Bryan was fucking flying at the tackles yesterday. I reckon someone's nicked his Polaroid or something, or put the wrong sugar in his coffee, because he was a fucking man possessed. He comes forward, turns him over. Watmore takes over into the box, into Honeyman. Now, I did the Honey Monster disjustice, because I said in real time it's a shot that's been scuffed. I've watched it back on the EFL extended highlights this morning from 4 or 5 angles, and I think because of what I said about Langstaff earlier, they know now they're on the same wavelength. They know and I'm not really one for putting a ball in an area. I think that can be lazy. I think you should try and pick your pass. But Honeyman, he did sort of scuff it a bit, but I think that was his body shape. He couldn't do anything about it. He puts it into an area where he knows now, and they're all starting to know, that Macaulay Langstaff's going to be. Langstaff finally gets his goal. And that was the thing with Esse's goal as well, that I'm willing him on so much. I saw someone put on social media before the game, I've never wanted a striker to score more. And Macaulay Langstaff tucks it away neatly, looks across, checks with the linesman that he's not offside, which he wasn't just again. And he celebrates right in front of us in that corner. Absolutely brilliant. He actually had his head down for a while. we're all standing there cheering, waiting for him to look up to sort of get involved with him. But literally, I think almost every player other than the goalkeeper come and celebrate with him. You could see what it meant to him. You could see what it meant to them for him to get off the mark. And long may it continue now. 1 goal, and hopefully it will just keep coming. And it was 3-0, game over, job done on 55 minutes ish. It got a bit boring after that. Again, look, it didn't matter. We just shut them out. They had nothing really coming forward. It was good to see the big Serb come on, and he nearly scored and made it 4, didn't he? Their goalkeeper made a good save from him. I felt a bit for Ivanovic because it would be good to get him on a pitch and get experience, obviously, especially at the Den, his first outing. But it was sort of at that point he's on, and we're just sort of pumping balls up and letting Preston have it. So he's sort of doing the running where we couldn't really see everything that he could do. But he's not injured. So that's, again, another plus, and maybe in time, if the wingers do stop firing, which could happen because wingers can be in and out, we could look at the Ivanovic and Langstaff combo as a 4-4-2, but I don't think he's going to change the formation anytime soon. Preston eventually get their consolation. I say I felt for the keeper because, again, he's another one I've backed. I'm usually very critical of our goalkeepers down the years. Jordan fucking Archer. George Long, and of course, rest in peace, Matt Sarkic. I didn't feel Sarkic was great when he first came to the club. He definitely did improve, and he was improving. He was going to get to where we wanted him to be, but obviously, tragically, I still fucking can't believe I'm saying that. The words are coming out of my mouth, be passed away. But you know what? Someone's commenting every week in my comments saying Matt Sarkic, and it looks they got the same surname, so I'm assuming that they are a family member. So I always give that a heart. So if you see it, give it a little heart in the comments. But yeah, they get their goal back. Scrappy. I don't think they score if we're not 3-0 up. I just think the players switched off maybe. I mean, the heat was ridiculous yesterday. I turned up with a coat on and the bastard bins, and I was going skiing, so I took the bins off. Eventually I took the coat off. It was absolutely sweltering yesterday. But yeah, I don't think they scored that goal, really, if I'm honest. We switched off, yes. We conceded, yes, and we won a clean sheet, okay. But is it, just get one out of the way with, it's consolation. It makes no fucking difference to the scoreline or our league position at all. And then the final talking point of this post-match analysis is Idemo Amaku. Of course, Amaku didn't originally come on, did he? Honeyman went left mid, and Wintle come on into the centre of midfield. And I can't remember who went off. Was it Saville? Was it Denor? It might have been Saville with an eye on Tuesday. And I thought Wintle looked really good when he come on. He obviously can't play on Tuesday because he's on loan from Cardiff. And then people were saying at this point, something must have happened with Harrison Amaku. It must have happened. Now, I didn't see the incident on our on our deadline day live stream. A lot of people were saying on that. Obviously, all the fans were in the kitchen that day. I was still in the box. So, over the other side to me, that when Harris took off Amaku, they had words. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's what people said. I didn't see it, if it even did happen. And since then, Amaku nearly went out to Wickham on deadline day. That fell through, I think, due to Bradshaw's injury or other circumstances. But Amaku didn't come on at that point, and people were pissed off. And I was pissed off. And again, look, we're not always right. We're not always wrong. Maybe Neil Harris is getting that one wrong, or is he? You can't really argue. Maku's not getting the side. Our two wingers are the two top scorers, or two of the top scorers in the championship. So it's difficult for Maku to get in. But I did feel at that point, maybe he's got an eye on Wintle playing a bit more game time with the midweek runs coming up, and Saville and Denor playing every minute of every game. Maybe he had half an eye on that, but eventually Maku does come on. I thought he looked like he had fire in the belly. I thought he looked like the same player that we know and a lot of us rate, and had a great pre-season, and had interest from other clubs, including PSV Eindhoven and Wickham. And then he gets booked. He knocks it around the play, runs around the other side, he goes down, and he's booked for diving. It was a dive, and again, I don't know Idemo Amaku, but I can see that he's got a bit between his teeth. He seems like a fucking good kid, I was going to say. Is that a bit patronising? Well, it's not really, because I'm fucking over double his age. Seems like a good bloke. And I don't know, it's something for me, and I don't know anything, just what I'm seeing and reading between the lines, as we all do as fans. I'm not sure him and Harris are getting on the, because he was on fire pre-season. Now he can't get in. There is other circumstances behind that, probably, as I said, with our wingers scoring lots of goals. But then he gets up, and all of a sudden he's off. I've watched it back. Preston player not happy. It's basically, look, the Preston have lost the game. They know unless they can pull off a miracle and potentially get one of our players off the pitch, it's game done. So that's what he does. He sort of reacts to Amaku. Amaku gets up, sort of puffs his chest out, maybe a hint of a but. I don't know. But he gets, well, the Millwall Twitter have said he gets a second yellow. Booked twice in quick succession is what they said. Other people were saying it was a straight red. I think that's out of character for Mako. Again, I don't know him, but he seems like a fucking good player with a great attitude. And I think there's a little bit of frustration there creeping in. I don't think, again, I don't know anything, but reading between the lines, it don't look like he's having the best time of things at the minute, So I think that's frustration, and we'll lose him now, either for a game or free when we get confirmation of what it was. As I said, the Millwall Twitter said it was 2 bookings. Some people in the ground were saying it was a straight red. But he's not getting in any way, and maybe a loan would definitely benefit him in January, get him out of Harris's hair, let him go away, see what he can do. I'm not saying that he's a problem at all, either Maku, because he's one of my favourite players, and I've got really high hopes for him at the club. But here you go, that's your post-match analysis done. An emphatic 3-1 win at home to Preston. The scoreline definitely flattered our opposition. Was they terrible? Well, they weren't great. We can only beat what's put in front of you. And if everyone's shit, great, brilliant, we'll beat them all. And we'll head up the right way in the division. I think we're up to about 14th now. And of course, we are away to Cardiff on Tuesday, who are currently managing this and rock bottom. I've been in touch with Kev this morning, DJ Crazy Kev, the fucking wallpaper guy, Looney Lifts, Captain Kev, call him what you like. Look, you've been asking where his videos are. He sent me a video after the QPR game and you could not hear a word of it. And bless him, he went, well, just edit it. I said, no, mate, your mic on your phone is completely fucked. And I can't put in something that's not, I'm a good editor, but I can't put in audio that's not there. Unless I do like a little voiceover and subtitles. So his camera is fucked. So that's why his QPR video didn't go out, which was a shame. He said it was a good video. I'll take his word for it. They're always good, but I couldn't hear a fucking word of it, so I couldn't tell you. So I'm guessing that's why he hasn't done one again yesterday. But he is going to Cardiff Tuesday, and after yesterday, I'm very, very tempted to join him. But that's another video for another day. I'll be back tomorrow for the Cardiff preview. And I was going to say enjoy the rest of your Sunday, but I'm sticking this out at 8 PM. Filmed it nice and early, though. I'm off for a nice roast in a minute. Please subscribe to Lions TV. See you tomorrow. Come on, you Lions.